Hello again. Nairobi remains on edge following a terror attack at a hotel that left at least 21 people dead and scores more injured. Islamic militant group Al-Shabaab claimed responsibility for the attack. It comes 5 years after the group's attack on the Kenyan capital's upmarket Westgate Mall, which claimed 67 lives.
6 armed assailants attacked the Dusit D2 hotel complex on Tuesday. After an 18-hour-long standoff, Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta confirmed that all the terrorists had been eliminated.
Innocent lives were lost through the hands of these murderous terrorists, with others injured. We are grieving as a country this morning, and my heart and that of every Kenyan goes out to the innocent men and women violated by senseless violence.
Al-Shabaab says the attack is in response to US President Donald Trump's decision to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. The move, which overturned decades of US foreign policy, drew widespread international criticism. Among the victims at the Dusit D2 hotel was Jason Spindler, a US citizen who survived the 9/11 attacks. Development professional Luke Potter, who held dual South African and British citizenship, was also killed in the attack. Kenyan cousins Abdallah Dahir and Faisal Ahmed are also among the dead. Ironically, both men worked on economic programs trying to uplift Somalia, which is Al-Shabaab's home territory. A relative of the two has appealed for peace, saying this should not be seen as an attack condoned by Muslims.
We are not terrorists. Na ninataka Wakenya wajue ya kwamba sisi wote kwa jumla kama sini Wakristo, Wahindi au Waislamu tunauliwa na hawa watu, and we have to be united against this terrorism. Tusibagwane ya kusema kwamba huyu ndio terrorist.
Kenyatta has vowed to eliminate Al-Shabaab.
Here are some more visuals from the terror attack in Kenya as we remember those who've lost their lives.
No! What you're doing today, Mama? Not today, my sister. Today you're not dying. You're not dying today. All right, medic! Ambulance, ambulance!
And finally, while Africa is celebrated for its contemporary music, its contribution to the classical genre is often overlooked. But recently, there's been somewhat of a revival in interest in both classical composers and performers on the continent.
A concert at one of London's most prominent cathedrals. Construction on Southwark Cathedral started in 1839, but the first African musicians and composers working in Europe go back to the Tudor times. The Dikas Ensemble are performing music by African composers including Segun Akinola and Erolin Wallen. Uchenna Ngwe spent a season playing with KwaZulu-Natal Philharmonic Orchestra in Durban. She's in London now, working on a project called Plainsight Sound. The musician aims to uncover stories about African composers.
Some of these composers were published. People like Fela Shawande, for instance, were very popular in Britain in the 30s, 40s and 50s, 1930s to 50s, and his music was published. It's still available in some form, especially his organ works, but his larger works seem to have fallen out of favour for various reasons.
There's no official movement to introduce African classical music into the mainstream repertoire. But interest by individual African players has uncovered a number of composers who were politically active, especially during colonial times. It's a new line of inquiry that is an important part of African heritage.
Music always soothes the pain. And that's it for this week's edition of #Africa. Do stay tuned to ENCA for all the latest news. Take care and goodbye.